Hi guys, what's up? I continued the series of videos about my education and work experience in Germany, and in today's video I want to give you 7 critical mistakes that can prevent you from getting an offer of place from a tuition-free German university. Before we jump in, I want to ask you to click that like button, to subscribe to my channel, because this support, your reactions, motivates me a lot to create content. This is my side hustle, which I do apart from my full-time job. So of course I want to see your reactions to understand whether it's worth investing time in or not. And I also should say that I've become quite an expert in all of these topics with applications for to universities, with job applications, with all of these bureaucratic moments in Germany, because I've gone all of the steps of immigration in Germany from studying till now, where I am applying for my citizenship, which I actually already did. I did all by myself, so I went through all of the steps of immigration, and I have a lot of things to share with you only if I see your proper reaction to my content. So thanks again for watching it, and let's start exploring the mistakes. Mistake number 1, starting too late. This is one of the biggest mistakes, is underestimating the time that you need for your application. You have to start with the first step of researching, and you need to do it. I think best way would be 1.5 years. That's how I did it, or at least 1 year in advance. And here I'm speaking about 1 year in advance before your academic start. The academic start of your program. You have many things to do except for research. You also have to prepare your documents. And here are the key deadlines that you have to remember. Take note of it. For the winter semester, which starts in October, applications are typically due between May and July 15th. For the summer semester, which starts March, April, the applications are usually due between November and January 15th. Therefore, you have to start at least 1 year in advance to research all of the programs where you want to apply, all of the universities, to understand how many packages you have to send and what are the requirements in general that you have to fulfill. Especially if you want to apply for very difficult programs at very prestigious universities where the requirements are harder, like if there is GMAT, for example, or if you don't have any language preparation at all, then you even have to start earlier, like several years in advance, if your English is at the very beginner level. And I wanted to give an example here. I recently was helping a girl with her application to a German university. I was reviewing her the requirements for the programs, and she started quite late. I think she started like 6 months in advance, and it is not enough because she didn't count the time she has to prepare for the language test. I think she was taking IELTS, and IELTS and TOEFL, any language test, they always have specific dates when you can take the exam. It's not flexible. You have to really take it into account whether your certificate, your language certificate, is going to be ready by the time the application due dates are closing. And she didn't manage to count it properly, so she got like a preliminary offer of place from the university, which she prioritized, but in the end she didn't fulfill all of the requirements, and she didn't get a proper offer of place to apply for a visa and to move to Germany. And for that reason she had to postpone it for another year or another 6 months until she gets her language certificate. So take it into account. It's very important. Start as early as possible, taking into consideration all of these basic requirements like language skills, any special additional tests like GMAT, and you have to prepare well in advance. The earlier, the better. Mistake number 2 is applying to too few universities. And here I'm talking about the cases where people apply only to 1 or 2 universities. This is ridiculous. You have to apply, I would say, at least 3 universities to have better chances of acceptance. Germany has over 400 universities, each with its own requirements and admission criteria, and even highly qualified students. I was one of these highly qualified students, but I still had to compete with thousands of other students. You can still face rejection due to factors like this is called numerous clauses system, which means basically that there is a restricted number of places in the program. And in order to increase your chances, you have to best way scenario is to create, like, I don't know, maybe 8-10 universities shortlisted. Mistake number 3: underestimating your motivation letter. I know somebody commented in the previous video, wanted to know how I drafted my motivation letter. Of course, I'm not going to reveal all my secrets because that is already on the paid basis consultation from me. I can review your drafts and give you comments how you can improve it. You can also get for a fee my example of motivation letter and also my checklist. You can get it on the website and in my bio. But what I want to give here is just some general tips from my personal experience. Motivation letter is especially important for the applicants with an average portfolio, let's call it like that. You have an average GPA, your language knowledge is basic level. The less merits you have to you can show, the bigger is role of your motivation letter. Generally speaking, your motivation letter has to cover these 3 main pillars. First, you have to tell them, the admission committee, you usually have to address it to them, why you want to study in Germany, why out of all countries in the world you want to study in Germany. And second thing is include paragraphs. This is the main paragraphs in your motivation letter, why you want to study at this specific university, in this specific program, why it interests you. Show that you researched their curriculum, that you know about the faculty, about their biggest research articles, publications, projects. Make them feel that this university and this program is a unique offering for you, and that's why you want to participate. Third pillar is, of course, why you are an ideal candidate for this program, why you deserve to be chosen. And here you have to list all of your main achievements in from the educational perspective, of course, first of all, and maybe some other extracurricular things that you've achieved in this life, to show them that you deserve to be there. If you don't have any achievements, come up with a nice compelling narrative, your storyline, why you want to study in this tuition-free program, what kind of advantages it will give you in life, and why you will be a valuable asset to this program and to this university. You also have to be aware that motivation letter can, as well as increase your chances, also decrease your chances to enter in the program. It is a very important document in your application package, and they are indeed reading it. Definitely you have to make some effort and work on your motivation letter, your statement that sets you apart from other applicants. Don't ignore it. Don't underestimate the value of this. Mistake number 4 is choosing irrelevant programs. This is quite a common mistake, and it's not something that is not maybe obvious, but still many people make this mistake. I don't know why they don't go through, they again don't do proper researching of the programs where they want to study. And when I say proper researching, I mean going to the DAD website, to the program website of the university, and really carefully reading the requirements that are specified there. If they say we do not admit people with a bachelor in business for master in engineering, that means they will not admit you. You will waste your time with preparing the application documents, submitting, and also wasting money, because it's not for free if you do it via UniAssist. That's going to be just a waste of time and money. Don't do that. If it is written explicitly what kind of background they accept what kind of background they admit, then it is that background and nothing else. To avoid this mistake, you have to read the curriculum, the prerequisites for each program. You have to ensure that your previous studies and also work experience, if you have any, are relevant for the chosen field. If you are switching fields, explain your motivation. Switching fields is quite rarely possible, and mostly it is possible, let's say, for some vague programs like master in management. You might have bachelor, let's say, in computing, and you can still apply in master in management. That is possible, but you cannot apply for master in chemistry, master in IT, in computer science when you have bachelor in management. So it doesn't work vice versa, because management is quite vague area, but computer skills is quite specific. And science is, of course, it's another topic. You can never apply for sciences, chemistry, biology, or anything like that, or even creative arts if you don't have a relevant background. And you can only switch fields in some rare cases, if you explain your motivation and how your background prepares you for this new area of study. Also, please note, it's important, there are specific regulated areas, regulated professions in Germany and in many other Western countries where you have to study from the scratch. It's not possible to do a master and go into the field and work. Here we're talking about professions like medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, law, and maybe also vet practitioners cannot go and do some master degree. These are regulated areas. You have to go through special educational paths, because these professions you cannot just complete standard bachelor master degree programs. Like foreign qualifications, most of the time they cannot be accredited. You have to go through some additional trainings and some additional special examinations to prove that your qualification can be counted towards working in Germany. So most of the time, of course, if you want to be a lawyer in Germany, you have to go to the foundation course to complete the 13th, kind of like a 13th grade at their school, and then you have to go and study from the scratch the 6-7 years in their law system to know all about the law and the regulations in Germany. There is no other way how you can be a practicing lawyer or doctor in Germany. Mistake number 5, submitting incomplete or incorrect documents. Be very accurate with your applications. In my case, I was applying to 7 universities, and for each university I had a separate set of applications, CV, motivation letter, my extra recommendation letters from professor, whatsoever. Missing or incorrectly filled out documents can lead to automatic rejection. To avoid this, by kind of like again structuring your checklists of all the requirement documents for each university. Again, I highly recommend go and check that video which I created about 5 steps. I say at the very beginning how I did it. You have to do a tracking list. You have to double check all that information all the time to be accurate and up to date. You have to ensure all documents are properly translated. Also, you have to pay attention to specific formatting requirements that the university you might have. It's usually more or less standard packages everywhere with standard requirements, but still some formatting differences might occur. Mistake number 6 is missing deadlines. Universities in Germany are notoriously strict about deadlines. Late applications are in no way considered, no matter how strong they are. So you have to stay on track. You have to create a detailed timeline with all important dates. You have to set reminders for each deadline, and you have to submit your application well in advance to account for any unforeseen issues. It can be that they will come back to you with some extra requests. I had it in Nuremberg University. I submitted my application, but then after the preliminary review, they asked me to write an essay. You also have to make sure you get your offer of place well in advance, because visa also takes at least 4 weeks, maybe even longer in countries with higher density, higher population. I guess in India, I've heard the waiting lines for even getting an appointment in the embassy, at the consulate, can take forever. In my case, it took exactly 4 weeks to get visa, but I also had to count the commuting, the traveling time to another city. All of that is important. Deadlines everywhere. Last mistake is focusing only on the university reputation, which I also kind of covered in my explanation in the previous video. Don't chase the names, don't chase the big names, the research universities with prestige. While it is tempting to apply only to these most famous universities, this strategy can be sometimes losing. Be sure and very confident that you can manage the competition at these big universities, because they get thousands of applications. If average universities in Germany get thousands, or maybe, okay, not exaggerating, let's say hundreds, worst case scenario, these bigger universities, I'm sure they get several thousands of applications, and they definitely have restricted number of places in the program. The competition is ridiculously high, so their criteria, their admission criteria, are much stricter than average universities. Don't chase it, it's not important. I will explain it later in my videos about internships, how I was searching for the job, whether it mattered in the end where I studied or not, and what is my experience with that. Consider lesser known universities that offer still good programs in your field. Most important that you have to go through the curriculum of the program. Just honestly say to yourself if it's interesting to you or not. That's the most important thing. Then you have to look into universities maybe in smaller cities, because there will be less people willing to go there. Munich is the most popular student city in Germany. Try to avoid it. It's also the most expensive. You have to research the strengths of each university. It could be that the university that has less famous names still is very strong in science, in research, or in some projects, or has good partnerships in industry. Figure out what is your priority, what is important for you. I was, for example, looking for a university that had also nice exchange programs, so that was also one of the reasons why I went to university in Mainz, where I studied, because they had quite a nice curriculum of my master degree, which included 1 semester of exchange, obligatory exchange, by the way, in one of their partner universities abroad. That's how I got to study also for 1 semester in Czech Republic, which is a very nice additional bonus tick to your CV in the future when you are looking for a job. By avoiding these mistakes and following the advice I've given in this video, you will significantly improve your odds of getting into German university for a free, tuition-free program. And also remember that research and careful planning, as well as attention to detail, are your best friends in the process. I wish you good luck anyway with your applications. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me by email or leave a comment below. And I'll see you soon. Have a nice day. Ciao.